center. Single back is Gibbs. Goff turn. Gives it to Jahmyr. To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. That's the way you make a statement on the road on Monday night to start a football game. Straight down the field to the end zone. It is 2nd and goal from the 1. Goff out of the gun. Hands it to Montgomery. Tries the left side. Did not get in. It's going to be 3rd and goal from inside the 1. They say he did get in. Late call. There it is. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Better late than never. Out of the gun. Jackson's got it. Running to his right. Wants to throw. Now being pressured. Ball's loose on the ground. It is recovered by Jackson, but it does not matter. That's Lions football. A 4th down stop.
Yeah. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Hey, can y'all hear me out there? Hey. Against all odds. 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 Against all odds.
Podcast. Shout out to Rockhound Detroit Lions, man. My pride.
Rise and Grind Morning Show is the best podcast in the world. Amik Robertson.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Rise and Grind Morning Show. It's Thursday, man. It doesn't even feel like we don't have a game this weekend, but we don't. And we're going to try to talk about a few things today and through the next several days to try to keep you guys entertained. You would think that we would have a ton to talk about in the season, but it just seems like this year, for whatever reason, there's just not a lot popping off, at least for me. Or maybe I'm just out of the loop. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to get into what we didn't get into yesterday. We got an injury update for you. Amik Robertson is rolling. Players of the week, we're going to dive into that. NFL standings, your angry runs. Do you believe that he deserved the angry run? That's why he's on the thumb today. So we're going to talk about that. Tim Twentyman's observations we forgot to get into yesterday. We had way too many other things going on off the cuff, truly, to get started. So playoff picture. We're going to do a little chips with a little extra dip today, and we'll be right back here in just a few moments. We're going to get rolling. Apologize for the delay.
Pressured by Hutchinson. He goes down again.
All right. Good morning, Eric. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. I see we have someone in the chat called Sack the Pack.
Yeah.
I wish, man, I'm going to have to be like Sack the Pack 2 or something. Change my name on YouTube.
I don't know. Awesome. Better be careful about having burner accounts, man. I hear there's an issue with burner accounts going on. Jesus.
Ignore all that stuff. Yeah.
Unbelievable. So I came up with a slogan last night. I'm writing this piece on Amik Robertson. Took me all damn day.
Yeah.
I think it'll be pretty good. And I'll probably do a video on it and release it at the same time. But I started thinking to myself, I'm like, man, next man up. Man, that's just, it's kind of getting old, right? To constantly hear next man up. And then I started thinking, man, this weekend, here it is. Our next man is better than your best man. How about that? Our next man is better than your best man. And they're definitely doing it, man. The Detroit Lions really stood on business this last weekend. Angry runs awarded. Jahmyr Gibbs the angry run. And there's been some fallout. I saw that Kyle Brandt reposted my tweet yesterday. There was only a couple of follow-up comments inside the tweet, and both were wondering, how the hell did Jahmyr Gibbs win the angry run? What was so angry about it? And so maybe we'll just start with that. Eric, you saw the run. You saw it up close and personal.
Yeah.
Do you think it was an angry run? Did he deserve an angry run? What is an angry run? Right?
Angry runs when you plow through somebody. Right?
Maybe.
And he did that a couple times. And I'll tell you what, I almost thought for the first time ever that Kyle Brandt should have given the award to someone other than a running back. You know who he should have gave it to? Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell on that one run. used his left arm, slapped that dude to the side. And did you watch how fast he ran to get out in front of Jahmyr Gibbs on that little toss? And he almost made the block. And if he would have got to that safety, that would have been a touchdown. The very next play was a touchdown, and that was an angry run. He did that awesome spin move to get into the end zone from 7 yards out. Dude, I'll give it to him.
So you're
every day.
So not on the 78-yard touchdown run. You're saying the other run by Jahmyr Gibbs, it didn't end in a touchdown.
Yes,
that's the one you would award it to Penei Sewell. So here's what I had mentioned, which I thought those were the same play.
Two different plays.
Yeah, they are two different plays.
But I'll say for his angry run, I would have said the one where he ran into the back of his own lineman in the two defenders. He does the spin move and makes it in the end zone. That was an angry run to me.
So I think that there could be a little confusion here.
Yeah.
And I'm just going out on a limb. I'm just going to roll with it. Was the angry run awarded for how he ran that entire game, or was it a specific play? I thought the way that Kyle Brandt was handing these things out was for a specific play.
Yeah.
Or is it a combination of plays? And so I just did a Google search. I was trying to see if they ever described it anywhere. And the only thing that I came up with is an angry run can refer to two things: a high-intensity, cathartic run for releasing anger and frustration. Well, I think that Jahmyr Gibbs did that, but that's not the segment for Kyle Brandt, right? I mean, he highlights football players who exhibit particular power and aggressive runs during the games. And I like the aggressiveness of Jahmyr Gibbs. When he hit that hole, I mean, he hit it with power, right? He hit it with speed. And he flashed untouched through multiple linebackers, and then he had to beat out, there's two guys chasing him, and then he had to beat out a safety, and he just kind of looked at the safety as he's passing him by like, see ya. And I don't know. I think that's kind of an angry run. That's the fastest I've ever seen Jahmyr Gibbs. And I don't know what he touched as far as miles per hour. I don't even know if that's out yet. It has to be somewhere. I didn't look.
It is. Yeah, I got it.
Hold on. Yeah, find it for me.
Yeah, I got it right here.
He was booking, man. I've never seen him run that fast. And so I think the JMO and Gibbs conversation about speed, I think Gibbs has him. I really do. I mean, JMO's electric, but I think Gibbs has him. Anyway, while you're looking that back up, so there's a lot of anger over the angry run that Jahmyr Gibbs shouldn't have got it. It should have went to somebody else. So while we're on this subject of Jahmyr Gibbs, then I'm going to bring in something else too. How about the Players of the Week award? So this part I didn't understand. I felt that maybe Jahmyr got hosed because they handed it to Christian McCaffrey.
What?
And so Christian McCaffrey ended up being the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He had 129 rushing yards on 24 carries, scoring each of his 2 touchdowns, while adding 7 receptions for 72 receiving yards and a grand total of 201 scrimmage yards. Okay, so that sounds pretty identical to Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't have his stat for me. I got to grab it. I think Gibbs had like 218 or something like that. So, where was it? Did you find that speed yet?
No, and I just had it too.
Might be on NextGen. Sorry, I'm a little out of sorts right now.
Yeah.
One of those mornings, man, trying to get everything to work. All right, so Jahmyr Gibbs had 17 for 136. 17 for 136. McCaffrey had 24 for 129. So again, 17 for 136, 24 for 129. Jahmyr Gibbs had the better night on the ground. He averaged 8 yards a carry. And what is that for McCaffrey? That's got to be 6 yards a carry, roughly, about 6.2, something like that. So a better night on the ground for Gibbs. And then through the air, Gibbs was 3 for 82. And McCaffrey was 7 of 72. Way better night through the air for Jahmyr Gibbs, too, averaging over 27.3 yards per touch or per reception. How are you going to give that to McCaffrey? If you're going by the best player of the week, Jahmyr Gibbs' numbers far and away better, number one. He did it on less touches. He had 20 touches the entire night through the air and on the ground. And he went for, what is that? 136 and 86, 142. What is that? 222? 222? How are you going to give it to him? So what do you think? Why'd they give it to McCaffrey over?
I don't know.
Or are we just getting hosed because of this whole, Kansas City hangover?
Yeah, it might be. And I looked it up. So through NextGen stats, the 3 fastest ball carriers of the season so far are running backs. Number 1 was Indianapolis Colts running back Jonathan Taylor in week 2, went 22.38 miles per hour. Number 2 was back in week 2, once again with Jahmyr Gibbs at 22.34 miles an hour, 0.04 of a mile an hour less. All right. And then number 3 is Detroit Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs in week 7, going 22.323 miles per hour. Both weeks 2 and week 7 marks are the 2 career highs for Gibbs. And Taylor and Gibbs lead the NFL in the number of 20-plus mile-an-hour carries this season.
So my assumption was right. That was the fastest he's ever run.
Yep. So he did 22.34 and 22.23.
Man, that is freaking fast.
And you know what?
Like I said, I've never seen him that fast.
When you watch that play of the 78-yard touchdown run, he got up to speed and then let off. He was at about the 10-yard line and he let off. He could have went even faster, I believe. I think once he got up to speed, he kind of let off.
Oh, after he passed the safety?
Yeah, because there was nobody else to get him.
He probably peaked right around passing the safety. It's probably where he peaked.
Yeah.
I would say. And that was right around, the 50? Right around the 50, 40, somewhere in there? Range? 50 maybe?
Yeah,
50
somewhere back there, yeah.
So anyway, I guess my first question to the chat, and good morning to everybody, is I'm just going to do a poll and try not to be biased. I know it's hard being a Lions fan and being biased, but who deserved the NFC offensive player of the week? Was it Gibbs or was it McCaffrey? And I'm going to put it into a poll. And you can obviously vote, and then you can put your reasons why in the chat or in the comments later. Do us a huge favor after the show. Please drop us a quick comment. It takes 2 seconds, or come back to it later and just drop in a comment, man. Favorite part of the show, favorite segment of the show. That'll help us really dial in what we can help or what we can do every morning to help make your time in the show more enjoyable. What segments do you like? Really need some emails in order to pull off a gripes and hype. Otherwise, I'm just going to probably do some video clips tonight of plays from last week's game, and I'll just send it out to the members. But it would be really helpful. Put some comments in there. One, it helps the algorithm, it helps the channel, and it also helps us to figure out which segments we should be doing more often. Okay. So give me your final thoughts, man. Gibbs or McCaffrey, why?
Well, I say Gibbs because, like you said, all of the stats are in his favor, basically all of them. And McCaffrey didn't hit 22 miles an hour this weekend. He didn't have an angry run.
Well, he might have had some angry runs. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't watched any of his runs. So
yeah, no,
I didn't watch any of the 49ers games, so I don't know if he had any real angry runs. I assumed that he did. I think one of the most angry runners in the league right now is Cam Scatabo. I wonder how many times he's won that award, because honestly, I haven't watched any Good Morning Football this entire season. I have not watched one episode, and I feel terrible for not doing that because it is my favorite show to watch. Kyle Brandt's one of my favorite dudes.
And Kyle absolutely loves Cam Scatabo.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Since the beginning, he was talking about him even at the draft and stuff. He was hoping that certain teams would draft him and stuff. I do like that John Desage said something here in the chat for the NFC Player of the Week, and I do think there was one player that may have done a little bit more than either McCaffrey or Jahmyr Gibbs, and that is Matthew Stafford. And this is not my former love Lions of Matt Stafford from him being a Lion. He threw 5 touchdown passes, and they absolutely played their off, and Stafford was great. I watched that game. He was very, very good this weekend.
Well, don't they do another award for or they used to
like the air
and ground?
Yeah, the FedEx Air and Ground.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time. I don't even know where that is. Honestly, you should probably Google that. But okay, so here's my point on Gibbs.
Yep.
It's more than just the stats to me. It's also about what did you do to help your team win. And I think to be the offensive player of the week, you needed to do something very significant to help your team win. Had Gibbs not had that night, we do not win that game.
Nope.
It's that simple. And for that reason and that reason alone, it's Gibbs. And I'm not being biased. I'm not being a Lions homer. I think, 1, you've got the stats that support him. 2, you have the fact that he is the one that put this team on his back. And, I mean, he was, the second leading receiver by 4 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 4 yards more than him, but he also had 3 more catches on 10 targets. Gibbs was 3 for 3. That's, Eric, you and I both in the beginning of the season felt that Jahmyr Gibbs was going to get highlighted a little bit more. And I want to come back to that. So start thinking, get the wheelhouse running, because I do have a question about David Montgomery. Again, why he's on the thumb this morning is to talk about both of these players, at least a little bit. And I was just going to look something up here.
Well, I just looked a little something up. Since we're talking about Gibbs, Gibbs was in for 38 snaps, 56% of the running plays. David Montgomery was in for 30, and that's 44%. If you give those 30 snaps that David Montgomery was in to Jahmyr Gibbs with his production that night, I don't care if he even gets half of what he was getting. Another 30 snaps, that's almost double what he had in there. Imagine what kind of a game he would have had.
Say that all over again. How many snaps did he have?
Okay, so Jahmyr Gibbs had 38 snaps. David Montgomery had 30.
Okay.
You take that 30, give him 68 snaps. Imagine what kind of a game he would have had.
Yeah, there's no way I would. You couldn't leave him in for 60.
No, I know. But there's so many solo backs in Christian McCaffrey. He was probably in for almost every play of the game,
which is surprising.
Yes,
I thought he was going to fall off the tracks this year, and I mean he's doing all right.
No, he's doing amazing.
So that's where I was going to go next is McCaffrey. Like they beat the Falcons 20-10, so it's kind of a grinded out game too, where the Lions are 24-9, they were 20-10, and it was his touchdowns that obviously helped them win the game. So you could make the argument for both, that both of their performances is what propelled both of those teams to win. So if that's the criteria, then they're equal. Both had 2 touchdowns, but Jahmyr Gibbs had more stats. Edge, Jahmyr Gibbs. Both helped their team win. I mean, you kind of have to give that a 50-50 score. Gibbs should have won it, flat out. Should have won it. So is this a gift to McCaffrey because of what he has been doing, or is it a gift to McCaffrey because of what he did in that game that was better than the next guy? And I'll say it again: our next man up is better than your best man. So, all right, let's jump back to David here.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to the season, we both felt that Gibbs was going to be more of a highlight, especially in the pass game, and get more touches in the ground game. And I'd have to say that I did not expect it. It did not seem like David was in for 30 plays. And you're saying that we had 68 total snaps against the Bucs? It didn't even seem like we had 68 snaps.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm looking.
So I guess the point that I'm making here is, did you expect it to be this lopsided? If we could pull up both Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. I'll pull up Gibbs if you want to pull up David.
So Christian McCaffrey was in for 50 snaps, 74.6% of their plays.
Yeah, we were talking about David.
Yeah, I know. But I was trying to find Christian McCaffrey snap count just to compare. So Gibbs got 38. Christian McCaffrey had 50.
Well,
and still produced
that still
less
goes with
than,
my point here that he had more touches and more opportunity, and it didn't take Gibbs, all of those touches or all of that opportunity to do what he did.
And you wanted me to look up what on David Montgomery?
Just David. I just wanted to take a look at their snap count for the season, because so far Jahmyr Gibbs has 268 snaps on the season. And I'm wondering how lopsided it really is, because I'll be fully transparent. We kept watching during the live stream, like, where's Monty? Where's Monty? Put Monty in. When are we going to see Monty? And maybe he just slipped in and just did the dirty work, and you didn't hear his name a whole lot. Wasn't fed a lot. And then that's probably how he snuck under the radar. I didn't notice him in there for 30 snaps.
So Jahmyr Gibbs,
I got Gibbs,
through the season has 230 snaps, and David Montgomery has 143. So almost
Gibbs
90.
is 268.
Huh?
Gibbs is 268.
Oh, okay.
Where are you looking this up?
Uh,
You got to use PFF. Montgomery has 173. So 173 to 268. So that's a whole third more.
yeah. It's like 90 more.
Yeah. That's a lot. So compare that to last season. Well, now I'm going to go back to last season. We didn't have any injuries to either one of those guys last year, this early.
No, not this early.
Okay. So then, actually, I don't think we did it all, did we?
Yeah. Demo was out for 2 games at the end of the year, remember? And Gibbs had to go solo.
Oh, that's right, the knee. 35, 30.
And then he
30.
came back for the playoff game.
So last year at this time, David Montgomery had 159 snaps. To his 173. So he's been utilized a little bit more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait. We had a bye week in there.
Yep, because we had the week 4 bye last year, that stupid early bye 2 years in a row.
Okay, so he was averaging 26.5 snaps per game last year. And this year, 24.71. So his snap load has not fallen off, but 10%.
Mm-hmm.
We'll compare that to Jahmyr Gibbs. And he had, let's see here, 31, 53, 31. Well, he had 53 in one game. 29, 37, 33.
And I'm not trying to crap on David Montgomery, but I rewatched the game last night, and he did give up a sack last night. There was a linebacker blitz right up the middle on a delayed blitz, and David Montgomery missed him.
All right, so again, last year he had 268, or this year Gibbs has 268.
Yep.
All right, let me write this down, otherwise I'm going to forget the number. 35.7. 268 in 7 games is 38.3.
Okay.
Last year, 35.7. It's an equal trade-off. Gibbs has gone up 10%. David's gone down 10%. And that's without using Sione Vaki. It's without using Craig Reynolds. You know, it's only been 10% more. I'm a bit surprised. And I guess I didn't dive deep. Obviously, we're doing some of this on the fly. I didn't dive deep to see where are the extra snaps coming. Is he getting more utilized in the pass game? Again, I'd have to really, really go through and look. I mean, I could do it kind of right now and say this season so far he's lined up in the slot or as a slot or out wide, left or right side wide receiver on 6, 8, 14, 18, 20 plays. That does not include him catching the ball out of the backfield. And for David, he doesn't ever go out wide, really. Once.
That's one thing I'm surprised. I didn't see it in this game where David Montgomery was in at the running back position and Jahmyr Gibbs was out wide. I didn't see it once. And we saw that so much in training camp in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I really haven't seen it yet. I don't know if they're holding on to that until
I don't know.
later in the season or the playoffs or what they're doing. I thought we were going to see a lot more of that, and I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen it at all. Has Gibbs lined up wide at all this year?
Has who?
Gibbs.
Yeah. I just said 20 snaps.
20 snaps? Okay.
Yeah, 20 snaps. So I guess just a small breakdown. We didn't prepare this. We didn't go deep into this, but there's not that much difference to me. So Gibbs has been out wide or in the slot five snaps this year. Again, it's not counting the balls that he's catching out of the backfield. I would like to maybe put this on the docket to review usage and try to walk through that a little bit more. So I'm going to write that down. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery usage comparison, and I'll just do it in a video. That'll give me something to do. The other thing was finishing up the rest of these offensive players of the week. So Jamar Chase was the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Defensive Player of the Week for the AFC was Clavon Chason, and NFC was Micah Parsons. Parsons.
He had a 3-sack day.
Yeah, he had a good day. AFC Special Player of the Week, Grant Delpit. And our old buddy Sam Martin, NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. So I have another gripe with that one. Now, the Panthers won. That was a game I was really expecting Aaron Glenn to finally break. You know, we spoke about that yesterday. He's losing close games. He's just on the cusp. It reminds me so much of what Dan Campbell was going through. You know, if you go back and look at 2021, we were not losing games by more than a score, you know, very often. We were just so close, even that early, with a team that was not very good and had a lot of injuries in 2021. But I'll digress. Sam Martin, in this close victory over the Jets this weekend, averaged 46 yards per punt, 43.7 net yards.
Wow,
I don't know how many punts he had.
I know we had over 250 punt yards in this game Monday.
Yeah, so I want to take a look at that. 256, and I don't have the numbers. Again, I didn't prepare this to see what was their average starting position, but he had an average of 51.2 yards per punt. He had a long of 66. He was inside the 20 one time. Sam Martin on the other side had 6 punts, 276 yards, averaged 46 yards per punt, 4 times inside the 20, and had a long of 68. I guess my gripe is no good. It's really not. Sam had a hell of a day.
Yeah.
I really thought that Fox did well.
He did. I thought we used him way too much.
We definitely used him way too much. But what else are you going to do? All right, let's get into probably the hottest news of the day or last night.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not too hot, but it's hot enough.
But it's fun and it's good.
Oh, what happened? There it is. All right, Ahmed Hassanin. You can see he's benching about 315 pounds. That's big time news for somebody that's battling this chest injury. On his way back. Will he be back by week 10? I think that's the earliest he can come back. Again, I've never found, Eric, if they ever released how many weeks. I mean, because right now, if he's due back by week 10, currently he's a free agent.
Yep.
Any team could sign him the way that I understood the rule that we read many, many, many weeks ago.
And he looks pretty good, so any team could sign him right now.
Yeah. Any team.
So
hopefully there's an understanding, though, as a free agent, that he could sign anywhere, that he wants to stay in Detroit.
So Jimmy Leal put something out on X yesterday, and he put the estimated game returns for a bunch of players.
Mm-hmm.
And he put week 9 against the Vikings for Kirby Joseph.
Oh, hold on. That's in the injury segment.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll just go to the this is just what he says. Not necessarily if this is going to happen, but he's putting week 14 on December 4th for Hassanin's return.
Did he say why?
No, he's just got a list with all the players and when he thinks they might come back. Just an estimated guess.
Okay, well, I'll defer to you then when we get into these, because I don't know if you can see on the sheet underneath the last topic under Will's topics and Detroit Lions news and rumors. I've got that laundry list there of like 30 names.
Okay, I'll see if I can find it here.
Yeah, it's on the sheet. So we'll go to that right now. That way you can confirm.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That way we'll confirm what Jimmy Lau is talking about. I don't really know what his role is. I don't know if he's just a doctor that just does this out of fun, or if he's working for with Pride of Detroit. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he works for Pride, or I think
With
one
them?
Pride or Pride of Detroit, one of them. And he just gives his medical opinion on injuries.
Gotcha.
When he thinks someone might come back. He can tell you, like, when somebody has a knee, he can tell you if it's an ACL, PCL, MCL based on the injury, what he thinks it might be. So he's guessing, but from a medical standpoint, not from just average fan standpoint. So I like a lot of his takes, and I really enjoy. He used to do like little YouTube clips, and I used to watch them all the time, and now I never see him anymore. I don't know if he's doing them anymore.
All right, let me get this rolling.
And he's absolutely hilarious.
I'll fix my screen. Okay, I'm just going to start up top. Placed on injured reserve. The most notable or new move that the Lions had to make is Zach Cunningham. He was placed. We just talked about this yesterday.
Yep.
How are they going to make room, to bring Malcolm Rodriguez back? Well, he's not. They don't have room just yet. But Zach Cunningham was placed on injured reserve on the 22nd after re-aggravating his hamstring injury, so he'll miss at least the next 4 games, which made room for Brian Branch.
Yep.
That's how you're going to get him back. Ennis Rakestraw obviously placed on injured reserve with a shoulder injury. His season was done. DJ Reed placed on injured reserve with a hamstring injury. He is due back, and I believe the first week is week 10 for him that he can come back. Khalil Dorsey was placed on injured reserve due to a concussion. I think he can come back after the bye. Mm-hmm. Shane Zielstra, unless do you have anything on Jimmy Lau's thing that talks about
so
players?
On DJ Reed, he says that it's looking like week 12 against the Giants. And then for Dorsey, he says week 15 against the Rams.
Okay, so that's just a guess?
Yeah, these are just guesses based on their diagnosis and limited public information.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going off the timetable.
Okay, these are just best guesses.
I got you. So Reed went out what week? 6 or 4? 3?
2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Was it Ravens? Ravens game.
I do not remember. No, it was a home game against the Browns. It was the Browns game because I was there when
week
I was
4.
there when. Yeah.
Okay, so that'd be 5, 6, 7, 8. Did we put him on IR right away? Is the question.
Yeah, he'd be eligible week 10 to come back versus Washington.
Well,
is
he
the
might be
earliest.
eligible before that, depending on when we put him down.
Yeah, but if we put him on the Browns week, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so he could come back for Minnesota if they put him on right away. Because you got the Bengals, KC, Tampa, the bye. That's 4 weeks.
Why is he not even listed? I'm looking at the Lions transaction list right now.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he at? Okay, here we go. They didn't place him on injured reserve until the 1st of October. So if you put 4 weeks on that, that would be the 30th.
Yeah, so it'd be
or the
2
29th.
weeks. It'd be 2 days after the bye.
So he could come back week 9.
Yep.
That would be a nice bump, but I doubt it. I doubt it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, Khalil Dorsey, concussion.
Mm-hmm.
He was placed on injured reserve.
Way early.
Where was he at? Where is he at? I probably should have pulled all this information to start.
I think that was the Bears game, week 2.
My goodness. His name's not popping out at me. Control F it. All right, here we go. No, this can't be.
Or was Dorsey?
This can't be. On July 17, that must have been the first one. Hold on.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah, on October 8. So a week after DJ Reed. So that means he could come back week 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That would be the earliest. Or, you know what? I guess my question is this. Does the bye week count?
Yes.
Do we know that for sure?
It's time. It's not how many games you play. No.
It's time.
weeks.
Okay, so it's 4 weeks, 4 games, 4 weeks. Okay, so he's week 10. Shane Zielstra, his season's done, right?
Well, he says he thinks the Eagles game, week 11.
He was put on. Oh, check my volume.
Check mine too.
Yeah, why does my volume keep dipping down?
I don't know.
Man, we just spent a whole hour with my volume keeps dipping.
Yeah, it just did again.
Yeah, we had an issue this morning. That's why it took us so long to get rolling and try to fix it. I don't understand what it's doing, but let me just double check something here. All right. Auto gain control. All right. Should be better now. Should be good now. Thanks, Trace. Appreciate it. Well, that sucks. All right. So keep moving forward here. Shane Zielstra. I just lost my sheet. He was put on injured reserve on September 16. So he would be able to come back at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And what was his injury? His injury was an ankle injury. So I don't know if it was a low or high ankle sprain or what it was, but he could come back at any point in time. I've heard nothing. What is Liao saying?
He says week 11 in the Eagles.
All right, Jamarco Jones, he's out for the season. Giovanni Manu's out for the season. Ezekiel Turner, I believe he's out for the season. Dan Jackson's out for the season. Now, players expected back after the bye week. Dan Campbell said the following players could potentially return after the Lions' bye in week 8. Marcus Davenport with the chest injury. Malcolm Rodriguez recovering from a torn ACL. Terrion Arnold recovering from a shoulder injury, which that one's fairly confirmed, at least according to Terrion Arnold prior to this last week's game. in week 7. You know, he was out there running around. He said he wasn't going to play in week 7, but he should be back right after the bye for the Vikings. So as long as he's looking good and doesn't have any pain, I would say we should probably see him up against the Vikings. Go ahead.
Yeah, would you risk him though with how our backups were playing?
No, I'd probably try to keep an extra DB on the roster that day and split the reps. Just get him in there a little bit.
Yeah, just sprinkle him in.
Exactly. It's exactly what I would do. Just to see how well he's playing, you know. Why risk it for the season, which I think Dan has been very firm in his stance that he does not want to risk these players long term. Same thing with with Taylor Decker I was a bit surprised that they did play him in week 7, but they're thinking after a couple of weeks off, maybe they'll get it to calm down completely. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're doing injections, Toradol, cortisone, whatever, but I do know this. There's only so many times you can get those, and they usually do more damage than help you. Short term, it'll help you. It masks the problem. I get those stupid injections all the time. And my joints are just wasted. So I can only imagine what he's going through pain-wise, and we don't even know the full scale of the injury, whether it's, AC joint or rotator cuff, some sort of labrum tear in the shoulder. I don't have a definitive diagnosis. Did Liao put anything to that?
Let's see. Nope. He has nothing on his little sheet here. Probably because he played.
All right, so week 9 for Terry and Arnold. Several key defensive backs were out or limited for the Lions' last game against Tampa. And that was Rock Ya-Sin, left the game with cramps, but he's reportedly good by Dan Campbell this week. Sione Vaki was inactive with the groin injury that followed a hamstring injury, and there's just no timetable that I know of. Has anyone else said anything?
Nope, nothing for Vaki on here.
I would say that they're probably just going to let Vaki hang out as long as they don't need him.
He's got week 10 versus the Commanders for Vaki, excuse me.
Week 10?
Yeah.
We really do need Vaki, man. He's needed in special teams. I think our special teams have played
for sure.
Played pretty well. Avonte Maddox inactive with a hamstring injury. I'm not so sure on this one because it just kind of creeped up. And during practice?
Yeah, that was a practice one, yeah.
Yeah, that's never good.
And it happened on a Wednesday.
I don't know what it is with the hamstring injuries this year. It is crazy.
Yeah, he has week 10 versus the Commanders for Avonte Maddox to come back.
Okay. Kirby Joseph with a knee injury. He is expected to be back after the bye.
Yep.
So that'd be week 9. And I think that's really it. Am I missing anybody?
Paschal he's got is week 14 versus the Cowboys. And he's got Thomas.
Okay, but why? Why? What does he say? Because
it just says week 13 against the Pack.
No, for Paschal.
It doesn't say. It just says week 14 for the Cowboys. Paschal.
I have not heard.
I think they're going to shelf him for the season.
I have not heard one thing.
Nope. This is just a guess from him, remember? And did we get to Davenport?
I thought I already flew by him. Yeah, I did. Dealing with the chest injury. Davenport should be back after week 9.
He's got him as week 12 versus the Giants. Same with Rodriguez.
Dan said that Malcolm would be back after the bye, getting him running around. I mean, they have to start his clock.
They can start their clock. And usually with stuff like that, he likes to give them 2 or 3 weeks before he actually ramps them in and lets them play in the game. Kind of like Aleem.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. If you go back and look at some of the history, some of these guys are in usually by week 2 of being back.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen guys come back in week 1.
Yeah.
I think it really just depends on how they do. I do believe that whatever Dan and Brad do, I think they do it with a lot of, compassion and care for the player and the season.
Yeah.
They really try to balance both, and they don't like to risk these guys. And I think Dan, being a former coach, has a ton of respect, and obviously there comes that fine line of time when it's like, look, man, either you're going to play or you're not. If you're injured, you're injured. But if you're just not feeling the greatest, you should probably be out there playing and fighting through it. I didn't have the chat open. I missed a super chat this morning. So Attila the Hun, $2 says, left tackle deadline. Oh, rumors. Who could the Lions acquire for a left tackle? We could take a look at that. I'll take a look at it if we have time here at the end. Otherwise, I'll probably do my full run up tonight. It's going to be slim pickings, man.
Yeah, you would have to trade for someone from a team that just is not very good but has a decent left tackle as a backup, because I don't think they're going to trade their number ones. Left tackles are hard to come by in this league,
and they're expensive. And I think that if we know anything about, yesterday what I kept saying is I would not expect any sort of an edge, and the only way that we would see an edge is if Ahmed Hassanin wasn't coming back and they wanted more depth, or if Davenport was having trouble coming back. Then I think that you could possibly see that. I don't know how we would add another player, or if Paschal's not coming back, but yet again, you still have an issue with the roster. There's only 53 spots.
Yep.
And it's not like you're going to sign somebody off of a current roster and plug them into a practice squad. That wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It's so tight. This is a good problem. It's a great problem to have, because now that we have a lean back, I think that we're all going to see a huge jump in production. And we'll get into that article on Tyreek Williams. Again, this is the second or third time I've seen these articles.
Oh my God. They're everywhere. And it drives me nuts when a rookie defensive lineman is having such a good season so far, and they think it's a disappointment and fans are mad. There's no fan mad that I know of about our first round draft pick. I'm not mad about it. I think
how could you be mad? The
so
dude's
far.
playing. He's playing very well.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. I think he's great just because he's not getting sacks. Well, you guess what?
That's not his job.
Interior defensive linemen don't get many sacks.
Very few and far between do you see it. There's guys like Chris Jones, or even Ndamukong and Suh. What was the most sacks he had in a season? 8? 7?
No, he had 10.
No. Did he?
Yeah.
I don't think he did. Not with the Lions.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think you're blowing smoke.
Nope.
I think you're blowing smoke. Let's find out.
I'm not even going to look it up.
Oh, I'm looking it up.
You look it up.
He had an interception. I see that. He did. He did
funny.
that. His first season, he had 10.
I told you.
His first season, and then he had 4, and then he had 8, and then he had 5.5, and then he had 8.5, and then he went to Miami, and then he had 6, then he had 5, then he had 4.5, 4.5, 2.5, 6, 6 and 1, and then he was done.
So you remember that first year he had someone very good and big playing next to him.
Well, he had Fairley.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then after that, Fairley fell off, and so did Suh.
But if you're getting 4 sacks a season as an interior defensive tackle, that's pretty solid.
That's huge.
Especially with what they have to do in the run game and constantly eating up double teams, and like it's not easy. And again, I'll defer to the scheme, because the scheme, I think, dictates what a lot of these guys do. Even though with your front 4, you really want to get some pressure, but it's more so getting the pressure and making sure that you don't lose a lane, give a quarterback a free lane or an open window. So I have not seen anything on Paschal. The latest and greatest that he was listed with an undisclosed issue that required a clean-out surgery in the offseason. He was expected to be ready around Labor Day, but his return was delayed, and he will likely remain on the NFI list through the first 4 weeks of the season. Well, that's come and gone. Right now, an exact timeline for his return is still unclear. The issue is not considered a long-term or career-threatening problem. That phrase kind of makes you wonder. Career-threatening problem. They say it's not, but is it? I don't know. Last year he popped up for a couple of weeks when something popped up in one of his medical exams, and he was out for a couple of weeks. And now again in the offseason, something else happened, not football related. But it wasn't ever listed as an injury. It could be an illness. Oh, no, I hope he's okay. I know we talk about it quite a bit, but I hope he's okay. Whether he plays again or not is irrelevant. It doesn't matter for me if he comes back and plays, as much as I'd like to see him come back and play. I'd just rather see that he's okay.
I wonder if these people writing these stories about Tyreek Williams are just going by PFF grades.
And if they are, I think we've already gone through that. Anyway, so your injury report, I just tried to clean it all up. If you're interested and you don't know where to see all the transactions for the Detroit Lions, I'll pop it in the chat here. Look at the Detroit Lions team transactions on their wire. There's also an NFL wire that you can get access to as well. I don't have that link in front of me, though.
Attila the Hun says, as bad as I feel for our offensive line, as I feel our offensive line is, it ranked 7th in the NFL. And that's correct. Even with a few issues at left tackle and with our rookie or two that are in on the offensive line, I think we've done rather well. And man, are we spoiled as Lions fans?
Yeah, absolutely.
Seriously. In the last 2 seasons, we have won more games than any other team. We're 20-4. My God, if you told me over the course of 1.5 seasons, we were going to go 20-4. If you told me that 5 years ago, I'd have been like, I'm in, let's go. You can cut my left arm off. Let's do that. Yeah, that sounds great.
You won't be able to pick your, YOOPERLITES up anymore.
Yeah, I can do it one-handed. That's my rock scoops for. I'll just tape my light to that. So I got interviewed the other day, and they said, what would you give up for a Lions Super Bowl win? And I said, my left arm. I don't need it. You can take it. Have it. I'm going to sacrifice my left arm. You guys can have it. And all I want is a Super Bowl win.
All right. I'm going to email Peyton
Roger
Manning
Goodell.
and Josh and Jeff Daniels.
Yep.
I'm going to say we've got a better plan.
Yes.
We just need a surgeon in about 5 hours of your time, and we're gonna take this dude's arm.
Duct tape and a wood saw. I'm ready to go.
Oh my God! Just bite on a towel, right?
Yeah.
Drink a fifth of 151. I'm good. Let's go. All right. So I did another search here for Josh Paschal. There's nothing popping. All right, let's move on.
Yep.
You were just talking about Tyreek.
Yeah, so Tyreek Williams, you look at his PFF grades, and they started out pretty low. His first grade overall on defense, he got a 48.7. But now you look at his grade in week 7, he's got a 68.9. That is not bad for a rookie defensive lineman. Anytime you get above 65, that's a pretty darn good grade. That's in the green. It's not in the elite category, but he doesn't need to be there yet. He's learning his way in the NFL. Give him a season or two. I think he'll be just fine. Now,
wait, hold on. Pause 1 second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where's the
Go ahead.
article? I don't see it in the sheet.
I don't think I put it in the sheet.
But was it the one that we were talking about this morning?
Yeah. Yep. If you Google it, it's pretty easy to find. There's like 4 or 5 of them.
Oh yeah, there's
saying that fans.
Oh, I think there's another one that just popped up.
Oh, really?
Just 41 minutes ago.
Yeah. Should we just read it out loud?
Hold on. Is this Tyreek Williams week 7 dud? Not as concerning as it looks. So hold on. Let me save that one.
All right.
And I wonder why, or people wonder why, I care less what people think about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a reason why I try to do things different. And this is why. Like if you're gonna print bull, I'm coming for it. Because it's bull. And whether that puts a target on my back or whatever, I don't even care. This is part of the truth, transparency, and honesty is like let's not print bull crap and think that you're just going to get away with it because you want some clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care about, obviously do you make your money, do your job, but can we do it from a perspective that maybe is not so, just so negative towards people? Here's what I say. I just Googled Tyreek Williams. Tyreek Williams week 8 dud is not as concerning as it looks. He didn't play in week 8. So they couldn't even get the week right.
Yeah, they got some fact checking going on there.
Lions rookie defender has been a first half disappointment. That was 18 hours ago. Here's another one. Draft decision already haunting the Lions. That was 7 days ago. Tyreek Williams at risk of being phased out as Ali McNeil returns. All from this Detroit Jock City.
Mm-hmm.
Lions letdown has a clear path to turning his fortunes around. What? Dan Campbell challenges Lions rookie to get in better shape at camp. They did. Dan Campbell came out and said that Tyreek was too fat, too big, can't play. I don't think so.
No. You were saying he had feet like
dancing bear. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so which one were you going to talk about this morning? Was it the draft decision or was it the one that was just 2 hours ago? We got the week 7 dud or week 8 dud, the Lions letdown. I don't know which one it was.
Here, I'll find the one I was talking about. Lions.
I just don't. It's like, do people watch film? Was it 18 hours ago by Kem Yobulan? Is that how you say his name? Yobulan? Yobulan.
What was the headline?
Lions rookie defender has been a first half disappointment.
Yep, that's it.
All right, let me get that pulled up. You can just start rolling. I'll pull it up.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Well, I guess just start with the article.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Oh, my God.
Here.
No, I can't find it.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, but that don't help me on here.
Yeah, you go to the chat and you click it.
I can't.
Why can't you?
Because the chat's on my phone.
Oh.
Well, I suppose I can undo it on my phone. Yeah, so it says, heading into the bye week, Detroit Lions fans must be feeling pretty good about their team's performance through the first 7 weeks of the season. We are. Despite dealing with significant injuries, the defensive unit has punched above its weight, and the offense has bounced back after a slow start and is now looking as dynamic as ever. With the extra week of rest helping them get healthier, the Lions are a good bet to look even better in the second half. But one area that could use some improvement is rookie defensive tackle Tyreek Williams. Detroit's first-round pick in the 2025 draft was thrust into a larger role to start the season in Ali McNeil's absence, but hasn't exactly lived up to expectations. Man, what happened? I'm clicking stuff. The fact that the Lions had McNeil start and play as many defensive snaps as he could handle after a 9-month absence in week 7 speaks volumes about Williams' performance. Immediately upon McNeil's return from a torn ACL, Williams' snaps were reduced to 21, while the veteran defensive lineman played 45 snaps, more than Williams played in any game this season. Obviously, comparing a 22-year-old rookie to a veteran who secured a 4-year, $97 million contract last year is not entirely fair. Nobody expects Williams to contribute at the level right away. At the same time, the lack of impact and playmaking from the rookie is certainly concerning. Concerning for who? You have to cultivate these players and let them play. You have to let them come up and learn the NFL system. It's completely different than college. In 205 defensive snaps, Williams had 4 total tackles, only 1 solo, and 1 QB hit, and no other box score stats. Well, he also had 3 batted passes per Pro Football Focus. He has generated 9 hurries in total, and received a 53.6 defensive grade, a 44.7 run defense grade, and a 64.6 pass rush grade. This puts him at the 91st best defensive tackle in the NFL out of 124 eligible players. Wow. So there's 90 better defensive tackles, according to this guy, that probably all played in multiple seasons. PFF grades are obviously not the be-all, end-all. They can be quite misleading as they don't take into account the defensive scheme and what the coaching staff is asking of specific players. However, one would hope that a first-round pick would be able to make more plays regardless of the situation. Williams wasn't necessarily projected to be a first-rounder in the draft. Really? As GM Brad Holmes is known to do, he reached for the player he thought had the best upside and fit. So far, this gamble hasn't worked. One positive to take away from it, however, is the fact that Williams had his best game of the season against the Bucs. Perhaps McNeil's return and a smaller role with the defense will be able to unlock another level for the Ohio State product. It almost sounds like he doesn't like Ohio State players.
Well, it depends on which one it is, because there's one, I think his name is Shad or something like that he's a clear U of M fan. If you just go look at his Twitter, he's a clear U of M fan. And so that's why that's my problem with some of this stuff is there's too much bias put into people's articles instead of writing as a fan of the NFL and not necessarily a fan of a team or a player. You inject too much bias into it. And the same thing happens the other way, where you're a fan of a team in college and then they select your player and that player can do no wrong. And that it's hard to separate Saturdays and Sundays. It is. It's not for everybody. But when we take a look at all of the defensive tackles right now, and if I really, prepared something for this, which we'll come back to it, I'll add it to my list, is let's go back and look at all rookie defensive tackles for the last 10 seasons and compare what Tyreek Williams has been doing and where he's projected to be. What I don't understand in this article is you start with saying it was a giant mistake, and then at the end you start comparing his PFF grade and then say that the PFF grades are not very accurate. So then why would you make an entire article about something and then at the end shoot yourself in the foot by saying that, well, the PFF grades are not the be-all, end-all. They're not very accurate. You've got to look at the scheme, blah, 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 blah. Why? You contradict yourself. It's just being totally hypocritical to me. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so does he have any sacks this season? No, he doesn't. Take a guess. For defensive linemen so far, who has the most sacks? How many do you think it is?
3.
It's more than that, but...
Oh, okay.
It's not much more for the majority of people. So Byron Murphy,
okay,
the guy that I wanted Brad to draft, has 6.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Who's
Jeffrey
he play
Simmons has 5. Now, Byron Murphy's been in the league, what? This is third season now?
Where does he play?
Second season? Seattle.
Okay.
Zach Harrison has 4. Milton Williams has 4. Zach Allen has 4. Derek Brown has 4. Malik Collins has 4. Eric Armstead has 4. Leonard Williams has 4. Okay, the rookie Derek Harmon for Pittsburgh has 3.
Oh,
He's on a really good defensive line. All their starters started this season. Gervon Dexter, another guy that I liked out of Florida, has 3. Keanu Benton has 3. Moro Ojimo has 3. Let's see. DeForest Buckner. Calais Campbell has 3. I can't believe he's still playing. Brian Bursey has 2. Rook, another guy I liked, has 2. Jordan Davis. You know, everyone loves Jordan Davis. And you know who I haven't heard? What name have I not called out yet? Jalen Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Kobe Turner has 2. Another guy I really liked. Chris Jones has 2. Mason Graham has 1. So there you go. There's a rookie, has 1 on the season. Let's look at Mason Graham. He's ranked as the 43rd defensive lineman by sacks. He has, oh shoot, I just lost it. Gosh darn it. I need to reset this. I'm going to go back to 43. There we go. Okay, so going back to, oh no, I screwed it up. I hit the top toggle to put them all in a row. I screwed it up. Now I can't find them. All right, Mason Graham. He has 1 hit, 10 hurries. How many hurries did Tyreek have? 8, 9?
I'm not sure.
It was in the article. All right, batted balls. Let's start with that. Derek Brown has 5. Deron Payne has 4. Jordan Davis has 3. Zach Allen has 3. And Tyreek Williams are only crediting with 2. We know he has more than 2. He definitely has more than 2. He had 2 in just the 1 game against the Ravens.
Yeah, batted balls, he's got 3.
At least 3.
Yep.
So I don't know how PFF is only recording 2. That's wrong. Tackles. So anyway, he's ranked 5th in the league with 2, but really he should be tied for 3rd with 3. He has 13. I'm sorry, let me go back. They're saying 0 hits and 0 sacks, 9 hurries. So if we go to hurries, yeah, he's not up at the top of the list, but he's halfway down. He's a top 32 with hurries on the quarterback with 9. Here are the players that also have a 10. DJ Reader has 10. Jonathan Allen has 10. Mason Graham has 10. Dexter Lawrence has 11. John Hargrave has 12. Milton Williams has 13. Quinnen Williams has 14. Carl Brooks, another guy I loved, he has 14. Byron Murphy has 15, a guy you really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jones has 19. Kobe Turner, again, that's probably the biggest failure for me with Brad is Kobe Turner. Him and Kobe Turner and what's the guy? He's from I can see his face right now. I can't remember his name. But he's not on the list anyway. Jalen Carter has 13. I think I already said that. Carl Brooks. There we go. Between Carl Brooks and Kobe Turner, those are the 2 guys that I really wanted Brad to target. I think that was 2 drafts ago.
Mm-hmm.
The point I'm trying to make here is Kenny Clark has 19. He's been in the league a long time, right? Chris Jones has 18. Been in the league a long time. Braden Fisk has been in the league 2 seasons. He has 16, and he's in the top 10. Jeffrey Simmons, been in the league a long time. He has 16. Vita Vea, known to be one of the best interior defensive tackles or nose tackles. He has 14. He's in the top 15. Jalen Carter, as much exposure as he had, he's, in the top 16 or so. He has 13. So he's not that far behind. As a rookie, he's in the top 32 for getting hurries on the quarterback. Batted balls, he's in the top 5. Tackles, he's not getting a whole lot. Why? Well, tell me how many teams are running through the middle against us?
Mm-hmm.
None. They're not trying to. They're really not. So he's not doing bad.
Listen, in the first half of that game, the Buccaneers had 57 total yards?
Something like that.
In the first half of that game. Going into halftime, that was the lowest yardage any team had ever been held to in any NFL game in a first half. I saw that somewhere yesterday. Let me see. I actually have the actual stat and not go off my memory here. It was right here. The Buccaneers had just 36 total yards of offense late in the first half versus Detroit. That mark is tied for the 6th worst first half performance in NFL history so far. Tampa Bay's offense is flirting with all-time futility, and there's still time left before halftime. Now, they did end up getting a little bit before halftime and kicking a field goal, but that first half was so dominant by the Detroit Lions, and then they got a bunch of garbage yardage in the second half. But yeah, Tyreek Williams and our defense is doing just fine. I have no complaints with our defense through 7 games.
It's like None. I said in the very beginning of the season, this was going to be the best defense that we've seen yet under Dan Campbell. And I was even flirting with the fact it could be the best defense we've seen ever in my lifetime. And we can still get there. Like, we got a lot of guys still coming back here in a couple of weeks, and we can still get there. And I'm very confident that we're only going to get better as time wanes on. The one stat that I wanted to throw out here is, all right, let me go back. He has 9 total pressures on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that a ton? No, it's not. But if you look at what we're doing across the defensive line, he's doing fine. Tackles, he has, let's see, where's he at? I don't know if he had any tackles. Where's he at? 4. But here's the number that matters to me. As a rookie, he's ranked 111th. And if I told you that was a great ranking, you'd probably be like, what? What are you talking? How? You know what it is? He has 0 of them missed tackles. I'd say our rookie's doing pretty well. He's not missing tackles. When he gets an opportunity, he makes it. Right? When he can't get to the quarterback or if he can't create a pressure quickly, he gets his hand up, he knocks a ball down. I don't think that there's anything Tyreek Williams is doing wrong. Do I think that he can get better? Absolutely. Here's the key. He hasn't played next to Aleem McNeil yet. Right? Aleem is going to teach him a ton.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Reader's taught him a ton. But you're talking 2 totally different styles. DJ Reader's is a big run stuffer. He's a lane clogger. He picks up a lot of double teams. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go into that next. We're going to talk about the chip with a little extra dip. You know, these double team rates.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to tell you that Tyreek Williams is only going to get better next to Aleem McNeil, that's a fact. DJ Reader's a different style of a defensive tackle. As a nose tackle, he's not penetrating the offensive line. He had 3 sacks last year, and that was his best season ever. And I think that a lot of us feel that DJ Reader's performance early in his career, one of the better defensive tackles in the game. Everyone was excited to have him. Yeah, a little bit worried about the quad injury, but so far he's proven to be durable, and he's proven to be, just an absolute god in the middle of that defense. the way he plays. DJ Reader is leading the league right now in double team rates. 74.24% of the time. DJ Reader is getting double teamed according to PFF. Did you believe that? Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Yep.
Let me see if I can get this pulled up.
There was a stat I wanted to mention to you that I just looked up. So you know that magic number years for the defense, 20 points?
Are we getting closer?
We're getting much closer. After that 9-point decision over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that brought our average down to 21.6 points per game. So if we have one or two more games where we can keep them under 14 points or under 20 points, I think that's going to bring our average down and get us to that 20 points per game average.
We'll get there. You know, it takes a season, right? You can't win a race, or you can't win a season in a day.
Well, we've already fallen four points on average from earlier in the season.
Yeah, that game really helped. But last year, if you go back and look, I mean, we were at 17 points per game, like through the first 12 or 13 weeks. We were playing incredibly well. That's fallen off a little bit this year because we had, you know, the couple of bad games where we're not putting up a lot of points either. But
yeah.
All right, let me roll into this. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. All right, regular season to date, they make sure that you have at least 50 pass rush snaps. This is by PFF. God, I can't stand that picture. This is the NFL chip and double team rates, defensive linemen who overcome extra attention. And your boy DJ Reed is number one. He's triple teamed 5.3% of the time. He's double teamed 74.24% of the time. Let's see if there's any other Lions on this list.
Roy Lopez.
Did I just pass him? There he is. Roy Lopez. 63.83% of the time, he's double teamed. 2.13% of the time, he's triple teamed. I haven't seen Aiden. Did he fall off the list?
Let's see if I can find him.
I still don't see him. There's Tyreek. 50.48% of the time, he's double teamed. There's Aiden. 47.68% of the time, he's double teamed. 29.96% of the time, he's chipped. And 8.86% of the time, they're saying he's triple teamed. I have never seen a triple team yet on any film that I've watched of Aiden's.
Well,
And I don't feel like they're utilizing what a real triple team is.
You know, kind of did against the Bucs. And what I mean by that is they had the tight end chip him, and then they had the right guard, the right tackle take him on, but then the right guard would take a step back and be right behind him, ready to hit Aiden if he got around. So they did use 3 players against him, but just not all at the same time.
Which wouldn't be a triple team.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so
technically he was getting triple team because 3 players were giving him attention.
Technically it's called a chip.
Yeah.
What they were doing is dropping the guard.
Yeah.
You know, they would drop the guard back. So, I mean, we'll just go to the definition, right? A double team. Definition is 2 offensive players blocking a single defender together. Right? Triple team.
Yep.
3 offensive players assigned to neutralize 1 defender together. A chip is a definition of a quick surprise hit by a running back or a tight end on a pass rusher, usually a defensive end, before releasing into a route. Said another way, if, to use Aiden's example, Aiden starts to work on the tackle, and then as he's pushing the tackle, or no, let's say Aiden takes on, he's lined up in the wide 9. He gets the tight end first. The tight end will engage and then release. That's chip. The tackle engages. That's a single man. It's a second player he's seen, but it's still one-on-one. Well, then if he beats that tackle and the guard is dropped and then the guard takes him on, it's still not technically a double team because you're taking on guys one-on-one. If you're taking on two guys at once or three guys at once, the only triple team that I've seen this year, Eric, is Myles Garrett. If you remember some of the video that I did, it's in the workup that I did on the Browns on DetroitFootballJournal.com. You'll see in there where they literally put three guys on him, all around him, and followed him the entire time, and they did not let him get anywhere near the quarterback, but Myles Garrett used that to his advantage. I mean, the Browns were using that to their advantage in sending pressure from the other side. Al-Qadim Muhammad, 44.2% of the time, he's double-teamed. 5.8%, they're saying triple-teamed. 7.25% chipped. Now, as far as the chip rates go, I don't think I can whittle this down. I don't think it'll allow me to categorize it or reorder it.
Yeah,
Micah Parsons is 23.79% of the time he's chipped. Myles Garrett, 26.42%. And Aiden was at 29-something%. I think Aiden is leading the league in chips. So the point is, though, I mean, he gets a ton of attention, right? So it doesn't make it easy on Aiden. And just like Dan said the other day, like he's got a tough job because he's constantly got someone in his face. So we got to give Aiden a lot of credit for what he's dealing with. He just needs to win those one-on-ones, man. And when he gets them, which he gets plenty, he just has to win them. He is yet. I don't think he's winning at the rate that he was last year, early, or even the year before, for whatever reason. And maybe he'll just turn on in the second half. You know, but we need a little bit more out of him. It's hard when you got all these triples and or all these chips and doubles, but I'll defer to Micah Parsons. He's doubled 61.65% of the time, which is 12% more than Aiden, and he's chipped 23.79% of the time, which is about 6% less than Aiden. Is Micah having that much of a better season? I think they're pretty close, right? In their stats. I think
Micah's got four sacks and Aiden's got 6.
Yeah, I'd say they're pretty close.
Yeah.
All right, what else did you have that you wanted to get into?
Either one is really dominating. You want to hear a funny message that I just got? It says, any truth to Ragnow possibly coming out of retirement? And I wrote, no, none.
Who said that? Like, where's that at?
Somebody sent me a message asking if there was any truth to that. So somebody put it out there somewhere in the Ethernet that Ragnow's thinking about coming back. Yeah. Out there in the ether.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. I wonder who's talking about it. All right. What else did you want to talk about?
Sure.
You had J.J. McCarthy on the list.
Yep. And then ESPN gets impressive viewership for the Buccaneers and Lions, but not for the Texans versus Seahawks on Monday night. Monday night's Buccaneers-Lions game drew a huge audience on ESPN, but the late game between the Texans and Seahawks, not so much. In fact, ESPN's press release trumpeting Monday night's ratings don't even say how many people watched the Texans versus Seahawks. It was so bad. The ESPN press release says the Buccaneers and Lions generated an audience of 18.8 million viewers. That's the most watched Week 7 Monday night football game for ESPN ever, and a 19% increase over last year's Week 7 Monday night game. Pretty impressive. So congratulations to the Detroit Lions for having a very, very successful Monday night football game. And I will say they put on one heck of a show for the entire thing. I mean, from outside the stadium to inside the stadium, the way everything was done. And I'm going to show you guys something.
You've been to a Monday night game before, right?
Yep. But they did something different for this one that I don't think they've ever done before. Just give me 1 second.
So Arf in the chat, he says that PFF's missing a sack for Tyreek, and I don't remember which game that was. But now that you mention it, I think he did have a sack. And as far as the numbers, I don't use PFF grades anymore. I'm done with their grades. I use PFF to just get all the stats, but I've got to start looking at ESPN or NFL.com a little bit more because they seem to get things right. But yeah, go for it.
All right. So this, for the very first time, is what they gave out. Yeah. And I have a few of these, and I can send them out to a few select people. So 3 of my friends I sent them out to yesterday, and I ran out of envelopes, the big envelopes that I send these in. So a few of you guys are going to get a few of these, or one of them anyway.
Yeah, those are badass.
Yeah, so that's the first time they've ever done black 3s in the end zone. So I scooped up as many as I could. I got a big old stack of them.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so be really good in the chat, and maybe I'll send you one.
So I want to go back and look at the stats here for Tyreek. Come on. Where's that?
I did want to say too, just one quick little thing. So Monday night, I thought that Pat O'Connor probably had his best game of the season. I haven't looked at any of his stats or anything, but just from watching the game and not looking at stats or anything, I saw him around the ball a lot, and it seemed like he had a pretty decent game because he's been kind of invisible this
One
season.
Just run into some. I got to take this call.
Okay. So the Vikings gift the Lions an ideal QB news ahead of the upcoming NFC North clash. So next week we are going to be playing the Minnesota Vikings. And even with a banged up secondary, the Detroit Lions held the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to only 9 points in an impressive 24-9 win on Monday night. While Tampa Bay was without wide receiver Chris Godwin, running back Bucky Irving, and lost Mike Evans during the game to a broken collarbone, Detroit completely shut down a team that had been as impressive as anyone in the league with a 5-1 record coming into that game. The Lions head into their bye week before the first of 2 meetings against the Minnesota Vikings in Week 9. According to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero, Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell said on Tuesday that the second-year quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, was put through an on-field workout, but claimed that he's just not there on a short week with a Thursday night game out west against the Los Angeles Chargers tonight for Week 8. So O'Connell also said that if Minnesota were playing on Sunday instead of Thursday night, McCarthy might have had a chance to go and be the starter, which would seem to put him on track to return for the Week 9 rivalry game against the Lions. Man, wouldn't I, as a Lions fan, be licking my chops to go up against rookie quarterback, he's second year, but essentially a rookie with 2 games under his belt, J.J. McCarthy. I would much rather go against J.J. McCarthy than Carson Wentz, and I think it would be a whole lot of fun, and I think that the line for that game would move way, way up because we're already favored by 7.
You think that JJ's worse than Carson Wentz?
I just think that he's going to make rookie mistakes. I don't know if he's worse. JJ McCarthy has 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and a dismal 58.58% completion rate through 2 NFL games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's given me some confidence. And, Detroit was missing 4 of our defensive starters in the backfield on Monday night, and we held the Buccaneers to 58 total yards in the first half. So that gives me some pretty good confidence going up against J.J. McCarthy or Carson Wentz. But I know here in Michigan, There are so many University of Michigan fans. I mean, they like outnumber, I think, Lions fans even. And they're all going to want to see J.J. McCarthy on the field.
Yeah. I mean, I
And-
guess, so I didn't obviously get to listen to what you were saying
Yeah.
about JJ, but we talked about it briefly before the show.
Yeah, so
You know-
Kevin O'Connell said that if it wouldn't have been a short week this week and had it been a Sunday night game or a Sunday game, J.J. McCarthy most likely would have started. He wants to get McCarthy back in.
So here's why. All right. Look, Wentz has a ton of experience.
Yes.
And if he can connect with his racehorse, Justin Jefferson,
Yeah.
then that's not a good night, because I don't care about the mobility factor at all. I don't think we have to worry about that with J.J. McCarthy. I know that he can tuck it and run it. He's small, and you take a shot from Jack, you're not getting up. You know, you take a shot from Aiden, probably not getting up. So I'm not really worried about him running. I think that we'll be able to contain him either way. I do like the fact that he's a little banged up right now. And with the ankle, like we were talking before, the morning show, the instability in the ankle and the fact that he doesn't have the confidence to plant or make a decisive move, I could see where Kevin O'Connell would want to keep him out, like we were discussing, because of that.
Mm-hmm.
With Carson Wentz, his experience is what doesn't motivate me, because the experience trumps everything.
Yep.
I mean, he was leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl before he got injured, right? And that tells you that he has it, and he understands the game at a high level. Yeah, he's played with 5 teams in each of the last 5 years, so he doesn't have any real consistency with anyone. But so far in the season, he's throwing 67% completion percentage. He's only hitting 7.5 yards per attempt. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. 5 TDs to 4 interceptions. That's not a good rate.
No.
He's thrown an 81-yard pass. He's been sacked 14 times. And that's why I want Wentz in. Right there. Because he is, if you remember one of the first games, maybe it was the second game he was in, I remember vividly, he looks over to the sideline like, what do you want me to do? It was like towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
And they totally just stumbled and stumbled and stalled out and couldn't finish the game, in a way that was conducive to winning.
Mm-hmm.
So that, to me, I would rather see Wentz simply because of his immobility, and he's been sacked a ton. And what has he been in? 4 games?
Yeah, so he's 2-2 in 4 games, and he's got 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So I love that.
Well, hold on though. So
And-
let's walk back this for a
And the
minute.
same with J.J. McCarthy. He's got 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So you put those together, those guys are almost throwing an interception for every touchdown pass, both of them. So whether either of them plays, I think the Lions get at least 2 interceptions in this game.
Okay. But if we walk it back, and he's only been in 4 games with
Mhm.
14 sacks, that's about 3.5 per game.
Yep.
I like those odds going up against this defense. Which teams has he played this year? Which defense?
Steelers.
All right, so he went up against Cleveland. He was sacked 3 times. He went up against the Steelers. He was sacked 6 times. Went up against the Bengals. He was sacked 3 times. Went up against the Eagles. He was sacked twice. He's gone up against some of the best defenses in the league
Mm-hmm.
between all 4 of those teams. And now to have to come in and face Detroit, which is just as good as all of those defenses. Yeah, we're a little banged up in the secondary, but I'm going to pin my ears back and I'm going to get after Carson Wentz. This is a game that you're not playing contain. Even though I like our defense better when we are playing a little bit more reserved, I think that we play better, honestly. I think that our defense plays much better when we're trying to just stack the box a little bit and contain the edges and send some linebackers, but dropping everybody into coverage. You just go back and watch his last game. Even though it's Carson Wentz, we still got home, 4 times against Baker?
Yep.
There's no reason why you can't run that same scheme against any quarterback in the league, mobile or not. I think it's paying off. But you know as well as I do that Calvin Shepard's not going to do that against Carson Wentz. He's going to pin and go. He's probably going to blitz at the highest rate that he's done yet this year.
Yep.
And that could bite us because Carson has a cannon for an arm. If he can find JJ, is Addison playing right now?
Yes.
So he's got 2 he's got 2 racehorses to throw the ball to. I don't know about their run game. Honestly, I haven't paid attention to the Vikings much.
Yeah. And he's got Hawkinson, if Hawkinson can make a catch for once. He was pretty mad because he basically made
the touchdown,
a catch that was better than the Kelsey one against us, and it didn't count.
I mean, it was a little bit different because the ball bounced up.
Yeah.
And I never saw the ball hit the ground.
No,
it should have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
But again, that's your favoritism. I'm trying to go back to the last game here.
Well, no, I thought it was a catch.
I thought it was a catch too.
I thought it should have stayed. And I'm I have no like real bad feelings against the Vikings. My very best friend in this whole world, Brandon, he lives in Minnesota, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to come with me. He's driving all the way here, 9 hours to get to my house. And then we're driving the 6 hours down to Ford Field. And he's going to go to his first game at Ford Field with me against the Vikings. And even he said to me on the phone, he's like, man, I don't know if I want to make this trip just to watch my team get our ass kicked. And he's diehard Vikings, man. We go back and forth with it. I have no ill will towards Vikings or any Vikings fans in the world, man. They're the coolest. To me, they're the coolest fans.
Okay, so I'm going to think through this a little bit more. They just played the Eagles.
Yep.
And they almost beat the Eagles. Now, is that more of an indictment on the Eagles, or is that more of an indictment on is that more of an indictment on the Eagles not playing well, or is that the fact that maybe Minnesota was playing pretty well? Yeah. They still put up 361 yards, the Eagles did, to 387 for the Vikings. And if you're putting up that kind of yardage, 300 yards through the air, 89 rush yards, tells me that their run game was pathetic. And
they Aaron Jones back today, though.
And they had to put the ball up. So there's another factor. If he gets Aaron Jones, then maybe I don't like that situation. But then I don't like that situation with JJ with him. Then I'll worry about the run. But as far as the Eagles go, their run game was pathetic too. 45 yards to Saquon Barkley. That tells me that the Vikings defense is playing pretty well.
They are.
And if we're going to go up against a tough defense, which could be a lower scoring game for us, I guess I would rather see Carson Wentz in there and the ability to be able to get after him a little bit if he's going to chuck the ball up that many times. Aaron Jones has never really done anything against this defense that I can think of in recent memory.
So I got a question for you, Will. Since the Chargers and the Vikings are playing tonight, and for Carson Wentz to get another start, it's sounding like he basically needs to win tonight and have a decent game. So would you rather see the Vikings win tonight or the Vikings lose? Taking out the fandom part of it, just thinking about the matchup for next week on which quarterback you would rather play.
They play the Chargers tonight, right?
Yes, at the Chargers.
I mean, obviously, I never want to see the Vikings win because that doesn't help.
Yes.
That doesn't
but
help
I'm saying
us.
QB situation is all I'm saying.
You can still have a good game and not win. You know, you can still have a really good game. You could put up points. You could do. I mean, Jared Goff has done it time and time again. Pitches a great game, but the defense falls apart. So he could have a really good game, and if the defense doesn't show up, then it's not his fault, right? And far too often it goes the other way in Detroit. We end up blaming Goff or something somehow. Seems like. Well, I don't, but you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I'd rather see them lose. I don't know if that has anything to do with him playing the next week or not. I mean, according to what you read or what you gathered from McConnell or O'Connell that it's still undecided.
Yeah. It sounds like it was really close that he wanted. It was probably 50-50 and he flipped a coin and went with Wentz.
I don't know that I couldn't find the notes or the article that I was reading a couple of days ago where they were saying, JJ McCarthy having to work on his fundamentals and his mechanics is a bit concerning this late in the game, this late in the season, this late in your career. You already sat for a whole year and you had all that time, after your injury was healed to work on your mechanics. And if they're working on mechanics and fundamentals, that's just not. And I get the other side of that is the injury and not being able to plant and working through pain. I get that. I don't even know if McCarthy's ankle was an ankle injury, right? So was it
high ankle sprain?
It was high ankle sprain. Okay, that changes things. So he's only been out 4 weeks, right? High ankle sprains rarely heal in 4 weeks. Those things will creep right back up on you. It's just like a hamstring. Like they are so finicky. To have a high ankle sprain like that can, I could understand now why his planting and his ability to move, pivot quickly to one side or the other is a problem. Is it his plant foot? Do we know which foot it is?
I don't know. I don't remember them ever saying. I was going to say also with the Minnesota defense being as good as they are, there only seems to be one quarterback in the last 2 years that has really figured out that defense, and that's Jared Goff. We were the only team to beat them twice in the NFC North, and they went 14-3, man. They didn't lose a whole lot of games last year, and it seemed like Detroit was the only team that really figured them out and put up a lot of points on them.
Yeah, and it's been fun to watch where Jared is able to really diagnose the defense quickly and make the big plays count. I think Jared does an excellent job with that. My concern is J-Mo going to show up? That's my concern. Are they going to be able to get him involved in the game? Because if he's not showing up, if he's not installed into the game plan or whatever the case may be, I'm going to dive into J-Mo today. Let me put that down.
Okay.
If he's not into the game plan, then that changes everything for the Vikings defense. They do not have to sell out and cover J-Mo as much as you would think. Then they can do what they've been doing to teams.
J-Mo's had some good games against the Vikings, though.
That's why I'm saying he needs to be involved in this game plan.
Yep.
So one of the articles that I read, I just found it. It was the Vikings accused of overplaying J.J. McCarthy's injury, benching him on purpose.
And that's sure what it seemed like, because he made it through that game perfectly. He had no injury at the end of that game, and then all of a sudden, he's got a high ankle sprain. Yeah, well, I mean, again, in the heat of the moment, when your adrenaline is hot, you can play through some pain, but the minute that you settle down and relax for a couple of hours, take a shower, and you're like, oh my God, I can't move. It's just the nature of injuries. When your blood is pumping, adrenaline is going, you don't feel anything. It's when you stop, right? And you take a break. I go through the same thing. When I'm out doing whatever I'm doing, when I stop and if I rest for 10 or 15 minutes, I'm done. I'm done because everything just starts to hurt. Arthritis sucks. It gets inflamed, and while you're going, you're good. And the minute you sit, all that blood starts to pump and it relaxes. That's when the pain comes in. So we go through this little article here. It says that the Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell announced on Tuesday that Carson Wentz is going to start. The undrafted
Rookie Max Brosmer will be quarterback 2, and McCarthy once again will serve as a third-string emergency quarterback. And this was just yesterday. And so on Wednesday, Dr. David Chow of SiriusXM and Fox Sports Radio asserted that O'Connell's decision is a clear indication that Minnesota brass is choosing to sit McCarthy, even though he is healthy enough to play. Well, who's made the distinction that he's healthy enough to play? That's what I would like to know. Here's the quote. It says, proof positive that McCarthy is healthy enough to play, not saying he is 100%, but no way O'Connell would make him an emergency quarterback for second string straight weeks. That doesn't make any sense. Make him emergency quarterback for second straight week. Otherwise, Chow posted this to X saying, all I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl playing through a high ankle sprain. And right now, JJ is not Mahomes, which makes this a coaching decision. It goes on to say it isn't completely unheard of that teams will hold out players with severe ankle sprains for several weeks, which has been what I've always understood about a high ankle sprain is it usually takes more than 4 weeks. It's closer to 6 weeks. But a full 7 weeks will have passed before Minnesota plays the Detroit Lions on 10 days rest following its Thursday night matchup with the Chargers on October 23rd. So it is entirely possible that they're choosing to rest McCarthy to have him prepared for the Week 9 game.
Yep.
You know, it's entirely possible that that's what they're trying to do. It also goes on to say that many players who suffer moderate to severe hamstring strains or even broken bones can typically return in that amount of time. So there's again my question. They're saying a full 7 weeks. So if he's been down for 4 games, this will be the 5th game, and then they have a bye, I guess. Do they have a bye? No, they don't have a bye.
We have a bye. They've already had their bye. We're gonna play them next week.
Yeah, that's right. No, or Week 9.
They had a bye in there too. They had a week.
I don't know how it's a full 7 weeks. My math isn't mathing in my head.
Because they had a bye after the London game.
Well, that's true. So it goes on to say that it's raising serious questions about his future as the team's franchise quarterback. So they're all already calling into question whether or not McCarthy is even worthy of being the number one. Multiple entities have already floated the possibility that Minnesota might explore a trade for Kirk Cousins of the Atlanta Falcons in the coming weeks ahead of the league's November 4 deadline to execute such transactions. Could you imagine Kirk coming back?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Oh, my God.
I've been saying for a while now that JJ is not it. And I thought it was awful hinky when he got basically demoted and they said it was an injury. I think they took him down for these weeks to try to get his footwork right. We can't see the practices. The media can't see the practices. He could be absolutely healthy with no injury at all.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I get all that. And obviously the league would have a big problem with that.
But what's better for a player's ego to say, hey, we're going to say you got a little ankle tweak, you have an ankle tweak, wink, wink. Or do you want us to bench you and let everybody know that we're benching you for your play on the field? Let's go with the injury. Okay, yeah, let's do that. That just seems way more plausible to me. I think they just wanted to bench him because of his play on the field. He was playing like crap. The first game he played for 3 quarters, he did nothing, absolutely nothing. And then he came back and won that game with some last-second heroics. And then his second game, it was just completely awful.
Yeah, it was against Atlanta. He lost 22-6. He was 11 of 21 for 158, a 52.4 completion percentage. No TDs, 2 interceptions, so 3 interceptions on the season to 2 touchdowns. Yep. And he was sacked 6 times, which could lend to the credibility that he did have an ankle injury.
Yeah.
Being sacked that many times.
I just put my tinfoil hat on this one. I think that he did not have an injury, or it was very, very mild, and they're making a bigger case out of it than it is. And I think they're making him work on mechanics.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of his games. But I mean, I said it too. I think we both,
Yep.
prior to the season, I felt like my biggest concern for JJ was not being a fourth down passer of the football at U of M. They constantly ran the ball and handed it off to Blake Corum. It was not the guy to go win a game. Yeah, he might run with his feet. You might score a touchdown here or there with his feet, but if you can't pass the football, you're not going to make it in the NFL. If you can't be trusted to put the ball downfield in the fourth quarter when the game's on the line in the NFL, you're not going to be an NFL quarterback. It's that simple. You can't run. This is not a league that you can just run around all day. Michael Vick was able to do it early because he was like one of the first quarterbacks to really, really do what he did. And it's changed, right? I mean, you look around the league right now, Patrick Mahomes isn't running like he used to. Jalen Hurts isn't running like he used to. Lamar Jackson is not running like he used to. Part of that is age. Part of that is age into the league, getting better at passing the football, but all of those guys could pass the football before they would run. Some of them just chose to run when it was open. JJ, on the other hand, could run, but he's also small. So that's a big concern for me, is putting a quarterback like that out there and getting hit. Now, if he has an injury, he has an injury. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Obviously, the NFL's not going to like that. They would, and look, they're not going to admit that. But I would say some of that stuff is going on in Detroit right now too. Just look at how our guys are injured. They're going to be out for a while, and then they're in the next game. What just happened? But anyway, I know you got to get rolling. So
yes, I do. And this is what I want. I want everybody in the chat to tell me, who do you want to face as quarterback before watching this game tonight? Who do you want to face next Sunday in Detroit at 1:00? Do you want to face Carson Wentz, or do you want to face JJ McCarthy? Let me know, and I'm going to look. I'm going to keep watching, but I got to go. I have an appointment. So please let me know. Do you guys want to see Carson Wentz or JJ McCarthy against the Detroit Lions next week? All right. I like Todd Beaudry. Doesn't matter. They're both the same, and I feel kind of the same. So I kind of want to see JJ McCarthy just because I want to see him in person. I want to see him play. So I'm a Michigan and Michigan State fan. Ooh, so who am I going to root for on Saturday? I don't know. Okay, I'll leave you guys with that. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Have a good day. Be right back. 17 seconds.
Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down again.
Rise and Grind Morning Show is the best podcast in the world. Amik Robertson.
Amik Robertson is going to be my next subject. I started writing a piece on Amik last night, and I'm trying to go a little bit deeper with it. I know a lot of my articles, a lot of the things that I do are super long. So if you enjoy a lot of deeper reading, I try to get into things that not many people do. I mean, normal media, they want to get you updated, on all the things that are happening, kind of the fast and the furious. But far and few between do you see a lot of people out there really going deep into things anymore. There's a couple really good writers. Mitch Albom, I think Dave Burkett does a really good job with some of his longer pieces. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to read much of Justin Rogers in probably close to 6 months or more. But I like to do these pieces from time to time, and I had a goal this year to really try to highlight every player for the Lions. I doubt that I'm going to be able to get it done, but I'm still going to utilize that as a goal and see how close I can get. At least the top 25, at least to get all the starters highlighted. And so I'm way late. But Amik Robertson's story to me is just so, it's encapsulating, really. And how he began his career and where it all started, even back in high school and at the young age of 15. based on the information that I've read and things that I've been kind of pulling and gathering together prior to entering college, he didn't have this fast track, right? He didn't have an easy path for multiple reasons, largely because of size, but then other things that started to creep in. Let me go back and find this one more time. So in his personal life, which I didn't add any of this to my article yet, but in his personal life, he really credits a lot of what he's faced, the adversity, the tough challenges that we all go through, that, life throws us curveballs. Just hang, man. Just wait one more second. Just wait a half a second on that curveball and you can smash it. I promise you. And that's what Amik has done, right? He's just been patient and steadfast in the way that he wanted to attack life, in the way that he wanted to attack football. And he wasn't going to let anything get him down. He didn't have a father for like 5 years. He was incarcerated for the first 5 years of his life and then re-entered his son's life at age 11. So that's not easy. And then at age 15, Robertson himself became a father. I had no idea that had until I started digging. I had no idea that he had his son, Aiden Miguel, in 2014, which, I mean, Robertson right now is what, 25 years old, I think. So he has, an 11-year-old son? That's not easy, man. Going through high school. And so he took all of that frustration, all of those hurdles, which he'll never say that, his son was anything but a blessing. Matter of fact, he said, quote, "It meant everything. I remember like it was yesterday. At the time, I'm still young. When she had him and I held him in my arms, that's when I realized life hit me. I got to pick it up. And that's when I took football serious. At age 15, he was making those decisions. And it was very early on that he realized he had an uphill battle for many other reasons that I won't get into, but the fact of being small, right, comparatively to other players at that time, whether it was high school or college. And he even turned down a college. And again, all this would be in the article. He turned down LSU to stay at Louisiana, to go to Louisiana Tech. How do you turn down LSU? That's nuts to me. But then again, I think he saw a vision clearer for himself, giving himself an opportunity to play versus maybe getting stuck down a depth chart, probably having to go through all the politics of a major program like LSU. And he made the right decision because at Louisiana Tech, he was able to pop out and become somebody, right? And show everybody just who he was as a football player. So I have to say that it's been a fun dig for me to get into Amik Robertson. Amik has quickly been growing on me over the last year as, quite honestly, one of my favorite players. He's up there for me. I have a lot of players on my list just from being a fan for 40 plus years. And I would not be joking or kidding at all when I would tell you that Amik is probably in my top 10 right now as my top 10 all-time favorite players in Detroit. And it's not about the stats. It has nothing to do with that. It's not even about how long he's been in Detroit. It's who he is as a player. It's the adversity that he's faced. And it's what he's done in Detroit since he's been here. And how he has told us from the very beginning, basically get my name out of your mouth. I'm not a backup, right? And I got the quote in here. I'll get to it in a minute. And you just stay steadfast with that energy because I'm coming, right? I'm coming and I'm going to show you just who I am. And that's That's what he's done. And that's what he did this last weekend. It's what he did last year in week 18. Matter of fact, I think he popped the ball out in the Thanksgiving Day game last year. So there's a lot of really good stuff about Amik. And I can't even imagine us parting ways with him next year. And I hope that doesn't happen. I think he's a vital piece to this team. So I wanted to read a little bit of what I was writing just to kind of finish the day out. I got to leave here shortly too. And then I'll release this later on this evening when I get a chance to do a video on it. Okay, so right now his contract is up after this year. He's making $6.4 million this season. How much is it going to cost to keep him is the biggest question. That number is probably going to grow north of $8 million on a multi-year deal. It could be a 2 for 20. It could be a 3 for 24 maybe. I'm not real sure. I haven't done the comps yet, but I will say that Amik Robertson belongs in Detroit. He needs to stay. And most importantly, it's the way that he has been able to slide in wherever they needed him to make big plays. Shutting down Justin Jefferson is incredible. And last year, if you guys remember, I throw my receipts out every once in a while. I was in a live stream here with Thor Nystrom, and we were talking about the game and the game plan. And I said, you know what? If it were me, and I didn't mean it the way that it probably sounded, I said I would take my worst cornerback to put on JJ, and I would take my best corners that I had available and put them on, Addison and the other players to shut all of them down and make Minnesota beat us with just JJ. Shut the run down, shut everybody else down, and make JJ be the only player that could have an opportunistic game, and then bracket him. And what's crazy is the Lions did that. And what's even crazier is Amik shut him down completely. One of the best games against Justin Jefferson in a Lions uniform is by Amik Robertson. So let me get into this article here. It starts out with, and this is where I came up last night with the new slogan that our next man is better than your best man. All right? It's because of Amik. And it's because of what we did this last weekend. And I ended this article with that. And yes, you better believe a t-shirt will be out today. It'll be up into the store. I think it's a perfect slogan. But rising from the dirt, man. Amik Robertson was born a Detroit Lion at heart. A few stories, like I said, encapsulate the grit, the opportunity, and the leadership. That, like Amik Robertson's journey. His path to the NFL was never about the easy path. Persistent doubts about his size and suitability to play the game haunted him. But a fire burned deep. When life's obstacles presented themselves, Robertson refused to let anyone or anything dictate his future. In football or in providing for his family, he credits the adversity faced at all levels of his life, along with his faith and his fearless competitive spirit, as the driving forces behind his success. From Shreveport to Detroit, Robertson has risen from overlooked underdog to living proof that at 5'8", his heart is bigger than most, and he still stands tall among the NFL's most fearless ball-hawking corners. The next segment talks about you turned down LSU. Amik Robertson's football journey began at Thibodaux High School in Louisiana. He was rated as a 3-star recruit, He drew interest from several major programs, including Houston, Kansas City, and even LSU. He chose Louisiana Tech. For a Louisiana kid, turning down LSU raised eyebrows. But Robertson wasn't chasing the biggest name. He was chasing the best opportunity to play right away, a decision that gave him a chance to make an immediate impact and prove that his size would never define his ceiling. At Tech, he wasted no time standing out. From 2017 to 2019, he started every season, earning defensive MVP honors in the 2017 Frisco Bowl. As a freshman, and capping his career as a first-time All-American by the Football Writers Association of America. In just 3 years, he piled up 184 tackles, 14 interceptions, 4 sacks, and 3 defensive touchdowns before declaring for the NFL Draft. He then went on to Raiders life. Robertson entered the NFL in 2020 as the 139th pick overall in the 4th round to the Las Vegas Raiders. Still overlooked and viewed as undersized, Robertson was going to have to wait a little while longer to show the world the fearless, relentless, and scrappy style he played with at Louisiana Tech. Robertson was inactive as a healthy scratch for the first 3 games of his rookie campaign. Former Raiders head coach John Gruden labeled Robertson as a backup behind Trayvon Mullen, LaMarcus Joyner, Damon Arnett, Isaiah Johnson, and Keeson Nixon to open the 2020 season. It wasn't the first time that he had been tagged as a backup, and it wouldn't be the last. Robertson played sparsely his first 2 seasons, logging only 4 tackles his rookie season, 19 tackles in 2021, and then 2022 happened. Robertson had earned 7 starts in 17 games, compiling 38 tackles, 9 passes defensed, 1 forced fumble, and 2 interceptions. His last season as a Raider, Robertson finished the 2023 season logging an 85.7 passer rating against 64 targets thrown his way. Picking 3 off, allowed 3 TDs and countless contested reps with 1 sack. Digging his way to the top of the soil, Amik carved out a reputation as a physical corner who never backed down from bigger receivers, often winning big-time reps. When Amik arrived in Detroit in 2024, the Lions signed him in 2024. It wasn't with fanfare. It was with intent. Brad Holmes and Aaron Glenn saw a fighter who could thrive in Detroit. Detroit's scheme, built on aggressive man principles and frequent cover one, required corners who could win on an island, a responsibility that Robertson welcomed. Quote by Dan Campbell is, "It's the reason we signed him. He doesn't turn down any challenge. And no matter what, you can say, hey, go cover that guy. And he's going to give you his best." And then it happened again. Much of the local media slotted him as depth behind the team's young corners, a backup. Robertson wasn't having it. He wasted no time making sure the fan base knew exactly who the Young Truth 7 really was. His quote on Twitter read, "Dog, y'all need to bury this depth player. Stop playing with me. Y'all gonna see, though, keep that same energy." It was on July 4th, 2024, Independence Day. That wasn't just talk. Robertson quickly proved he wasn't in Detroit to be a backup. He was there to compete, to start, and to embody the standard that Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn demanded. Head coach Dan Campbell named him the starting nickelback and listed him as the 3rd cornerback on the depth chart to begin the season. It's what Gruden couldn't see. Dan Campbell saw clearly. 2024 season, after opening with one of the most overhauled secondaries in the league, the Lions' new secondary produced the league's best passer rating of 76.5 through the first 13 weeks of the season. And then adversity struck during Week 15 when starting cornerback Carlton Davis suffered a fractured jaw. After being placed on injured reserve with numerous other defensive players, the Lions were suddenly in a bind. Immediately, the Lions turned to Robertson in Week 16 to finish the season as the team's cornerback one on the outside. If there's one performance that cemented Robertson's place in Lions lore, It came during the regular season finale in Week 18. With the number 1 seed and the NFC North crown on the line, Robertson drew the unenviable task of shadowing Justin Jefferson. He didn't just survive, he thrived. Jefferson was held to 3 catches for 28 yards when Robertson was in coverage. On a pivotal 3rd and 7 in the fourth quarter, Robertson blanketed Jefferson on a deep out, forcing an incompletion that sent Ford Field into a frenzy. Teammates mobbed him after the stop, and Aiden Hutchinson calling it, quote, the play that sealed the division. That game wasn't about numbers. It was about Robertson embodying the Lions' identity, relentless, fearless, and unshaken by the moment. Detroit seized the NFC's top seed and sent a message that reverberated throughout the league. Our next man is better than your best man. Just a cruel ending in 2024. In the divisional round playoff against Washington, Robertson was one of the most indispensable defenders in the league. Suffered a broken arm on the game's opening series. He was ruled out for the remainder, undergoing surgery the next day. The abrupt loss following a season of so many defensive injuries was seen as cruel. The injury was the one that finally dealt a season-ending blow for the franchise. Despite the injury, the organization and fan base rallied around Robertson, with consensus that his leadership, fire, and readiness to step up under pressure were key reasons Detroit had reached new heights in the first place. Robertson finished 2024 with an 89.3 passer rating against 80 targets, allowing only 2 touchdowns on the season. The 2025 impact. This part's not complete. I still have a couple of things I want to add to it. But the Week 7, I call the Who secondary. By Week 7 of 2025, the Lions secondary was in shambles, missing all starting corners and safeties. Both starting safeties, Kirby Joseph with a knee, Brian Branch suspension, were unavailable. Top corners, DJ Reed with a hamstring, was placed on IR, and rookie Terrion Arnold with a shoulder was also sidelined, with veteran Avonte Maddox with a hamstring joining them on the inactive list. That left Amik Robertson as the Detroit's de facto cornerback 1, tasked with setting the tone for a secondary who had never started an NFL game together. Most were young, raw, and the ink had yet to even dry on their contracts. Robertson answered the challenge with tough, gritty play and leadership, forcing a fumble early and anchoring a patchwork unit that refused to bend, let alone break. Robertson's story in Detroit is just beginning. In a league where injuries are inevitable, having a player who can step in, elevate, and deliver in the biggest moments is priceless. His confidence and resilience not only lifted his play, but also transformed the standards and culture of an entire locker room. For a Lions team chasing sustained contention, Robertson represents the culture shift. From shutting down Justin Jefferson in the season's most critical game, to leading the defense ravaged by attrition, to setting the emotional tone after heartbreak, Robertson gives everything asked and more. Once overlooked players becoming indispensable pieces. His true legacy may be how he gave Detroit confidence that no matter who went down, the fight wasn't leaving the field. His impact will be the template for what it means to rise from the dirt. Amik Robertson, now famous quote, "They can't bury what comes from the dirt." Robertson's story in Detroit, like I said, is just the beginning. It's not yet done, and neither is this article. I can't wait to release it later on today. I would appreciate it if you guys would subscribe to DetroitFootballJournal.com and then share this. Put it on your socials. I think it's a great story to get out there about Amik Robertson. Somebody that I would love to have on the show at some point and do a full interview. And maybe we'll get our opportunity. Maybe we won't. We'll see. Already spoke to his agent, and we're trying. At the end of the day, when you look at what this team is all about, Amik Robertson is it. And he's not the only one. And people like me that started to even doubt what we were doing in the offseason with bringing in, a certain type of player that maybe didn't fit the prototypical size, or I was completely wrong on two guys. With DJ Reed, I loved his ability and everything that he was about. Was just a little bit smaller than somebody I would probably bring in. And I've said this before. I kind of felt the same way about Amik, other than the fact that I knew from the very outset he was going to be in the nickel, right? That's what he primarily did and did very good at. But to have him on the outside was something that was like a hidden gem. His ability to be able to transition inside or outside is not easy. And it's definitely not easy at 5'8.5" or 5'9", whatever he realistically is, standing next to Eric. He doesn't look like he's 5'8" or 5'9". So, again, I was wrong to go away from one of the things that I value most about evaluating a player. When you're coming into the league, it's a different set of circumstances. It's a different set of rules. And when you're already in the league and you've proven yourself, it's yet again a different set of rules. And so I got away from that. I failed to really recognize that both DJ Reed and Amik Robertson were playing at a very, very high level. Who cares about their size? Right? The size is nothing. It's just numbers on a piece of paper or on a screen. But the play on the field speaks for itself. Amik Robertson has showed us what it is, what it's all about and he's such a well-spoken dude. Like he's so humble. He's so real. He's so natural with everything. He's just been an extremely great fit in Detroit. The community loves him. His teammates obviously love him, and what he's been able to do has been undeniable. So, Amik Robertson, again, I can't wait to get this out and continue the conversation. I'm going to give you guys a quick snapshot here of his career honors and awards, and it's a laundry list. He was the FWAA First Team All-American in 2019. He was the PFF First Team All-American in 2019. All of this that I'm going to say is from 2019. Associated Press Second Team All-American, the Athletic Second Team All-American, the Jim Thorpe Award semifinalist, the First Team All-Conference USA, the LSWA Louisiana Defensive Player of the Year, and First Team All-Louisiana. That was all 2019. In 2018, he was the First Team All-Conference USA, First Team All-Louisiana. In 2017, he was the FWAA Freshman All-American, Conference USA All-American Team, All-Freshman Team, Second Team All-Conference USA, Second Team All-Louisiana, and the DXL Frisco Bowl Defensive Player of the Game. Why is all of that so important? This is a young father at 15 years old. Just 2 years later, 3 years later, 4 years later, doing everything and anything that he could do to show up. And he showed up. He took care of his family. He wasn't going to be some statistic, right? We often hear those comparisons. Young fathers, young mothers, have trouble navigating their way through life. He didn't. So Amik Robertson is everything I think that Detroit needs. And Brad Holmes, I'm going to have to finish this article this afternoon, but Brad Holmes, man, you better lock this dude up. And you better do it soon. He deserves to stay in Detroit. So that's a good quote there, T-Webs. It's not the size of the man, it's the size of their heart. I try to play on some words a little bit in here too, like constantly getting doubted because of his size. And I mean, he's standing taller than most guys that are, 6 foot or more because of his play. He's bodying up guys, a foot taller than him. He's taking him to the woodshed. And the dude is a hitter. He is a violent hitter, and he does not care who you are, how big you are. Does not care. So I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. So anyway, DetroitFootballJournal.com is where it will be. I will do a video when I get back from my meeting. And then we'll get it released. Final thoughts, questions of the day. Anything you have for the rest of the oh wow. Chauncey Billups has just been arrested by the FBI for alleged illegal gambling? What? Oh no. I'm also seeing the fallout of the Justin Jefferson or Justin Fields thing here that we spoke about yesterday morning. And now you're starting to see it in other local media how he had no idea what Woody had said. We'll have to follow up on that. We should have followed up on that this morning. I forgot all about it. All right. I'm out of here. I'll be back. We're going to try to do gripes and hype tonight, but we need to get some more emails. We need more questions, statements, comments, content ideas. Don't be afraid to email us. It's just mailbag@rockdown.com, and then call in when we do go live. You can pose your questions then. You can also text 313-podcast 763-2278. 313-podcast 763-2278, and we can talk about it all live too. It just helps me to prepare if you guys send things in early so that I actually know what I'm talking about. I hate just giving opinions all the time. I like it to be dressed up with a little bit of facts, right? That's what we're all about. But for the rest of the bye week, we're going to try to bring some stories. You might highlight some Lions legends. Our goal for next Tuesday and Thursday is we're going to go straight into podcast mode. So for the first 30, 35 minutes of the show, it's just going to be no engagement at all with the chat. Simply, and we didn't do a whole lot today, and I apologize, but simply because I have to get these recordings going, and we're wasting all of these topics, and I'm not turning them into videos, which is a critical error by me, but I don't have time to edit. So if it's not perfect, I can't do it. I just don't have the time to edit. I'm way too busy in life. The biggest thing is to open up the phone lines. So we're going to open up the phone lines a lot more so that you guys can call in. I don't care. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. All right? So let's get it on, man. You guys have a good day. And we'll be back hopefully later on tonight. If I don't get 10 questions, then I'll probably just cut up some clips and send it out, or I'll do a premiered video or something. But gripes and hype, we're trying to make it stick, but it only works if people participate. So it's a slow growing process. I know that we're very early into the brand discovery here. But all right, we'll catch you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. It's Thursday. We got another, 12 days before we have another game or something like that. It's going to be a long 12 days. But you blink, it'll be over. I promise. You guys take care. Go and probably go Detroit Lions.
Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down again.
Rise and Grind Morning Show is the best podcast in the world. Amik Robertson.